in Arizona, did you know like it's actually illegal for your donkey to sleep in your bathtub?
Why would I want my donkey in my bathtub? Do you put your donkey in your bathtub?
I put more than donkeys in the bathtub. Wait, that didn't come out right. But like, I don't know, who owns pet donkeys anyways?
Yeah, and I guess in Arizona it's a thing.
Probably. Well, it begins like a few years actually before the law was passed in 1924. Actually, there was like a rancher. He lived in Kingman, Arizona, and he had a donkey that became like really accustomed to sleeping in an abandoned bathtub on his property. So that's why they passed a law.
Guys, fact number 9. In Tennessee, it's illegal to share your Netflix password.
Oh my gosh. So like, if you live in Tennessee, like,
I'm
you're
going
going
to
to jail!
Apparently this law is directed at hackers who sell login credentials in bulk. I didn't know that, but wow. Other individuals who share passwords and don't live under the same roof also would be included. So, wow. I guess I can't move to Tennessee anytime soon.
No, because like we all do it. Like we all share Netflix passwords anyways. Okay, so this next fact was like such a stupid one. Okay, in Hawaii, it's actually illegal to put a coin on your ear. But like, what would make that illegal?
Why?
I don't know.
Why is it bad?
I don't know, but it's just like, I think that's just like magic shows, you know, like, oh, I got a coin from your ear, which is like, won't be fun anymore. Like, it's so sad. I don't know. That was a dumb law. Like, Hawaii, you gotta like, really look at your law code book. Really.
I think they're just sick of magic shows. They're like, I'm done. I don't want to see any more magicians doing this. No more.
Number 7.
Wow. In Indiana, it's illegal to ride a horse above 10 miles per hour.
But how are you gonna know?
No horse shall be driven at a speed above 10 miles per hour due to high-speed horse races back in the day. Oh wow, I guess that was a law they never changed.
You know, I'm thinking, right? How are you gonna know how fast the horse is going?
I mean, I guess if you have it like on a highway or on a road, is that like a thing? I don't know. We don't have horse ride, like, I don't go horse ride.
Or a horse-ometers. At all. Okay, alright.
Do you ride horses in Toronto?
No.
Is that a thing?
Well, like, no, but like the Canadian Royal Mounted Police
They ride horses.
Ride horses. I'm like, how are you gonna catch criminals on a horse? So for number 6, guys, for anybody that lives in Kentucky, well, I shouldn't say guys, but women in Kentucky cannot marry more than 3 times. So Kim Kardashian has one more shot at this.
If she wants to move
if she is in Kentucky.
Number 5.
Oh. I just read it. I forgot about it. Okay, alright, so you get this one.
In Carrizozo, Mexico. Wait, no. In Carrizozo, New Mexico, it is illegal for a woman to be seen in public unshaven. I think this is, I mean, look, I'm all for feminism and women's rights, but sometimes you see women with these like really long armpit hairs and you're just like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's just, what are your thoughts on women with hairy legs? Or
I say if you want to, you know, let the hair go, let it go, let it grow.
Really?
If you want, just do it.
I mean, I guess it's fine if you're in a relationship, you have someone and you're covering that up, but if you're walking down the street, I don't know. I say shave it off.
Now, why are tattoos illegal in Iran? Well, most Iranians consider tattooing as an anti-value act based on their culture. However, it's only forbidden in particular conditions. So tattoos which contain obscene or any form of offensive or nasty imagery on certain visible parts of the body like your face, your hands, your arms, it's actually illegal and a punishable offense. VPNs come in at number 4, and that stands for virtual private networks. So virtual private networks pretty much unblock content and improve privacy. So they have become increasingly popular around the world. And you know, in Iran, signing up with a VPN provider registered and approved by the government is actually 100% legal. However, the main reason that people use VPNs anyways is to access websites that are blocked by the government. So chances are that the VPNs that they use anyways will be ones that are illegal. Then next up we have neckties at number 3. Publicly wearing neckties is effectively banned in Iran. Now, there's no written law against wearing ties, but they are looked down on under Iran's strict Islamic dress code. Shop owners, they tend to sell them under the counter though. And the former president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, he angered senior clerics in 2010 when he said it was acceptable for men to wear ties. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, he wore open-necked shirts, and Ayatollah Ahmad Khatami claimed at the time that the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei had issued a fatwa, or a religious edict, against wearing straight ties or bow ties. So the whole bunch of controversy and stuff happening with the ties, so just don't wear it, I guess. Ponytails, it's also something that is banned. So Iran's cultural ministry in 2010 published a list of approved hairstyles in order to get rid of Western hairstyles that are influencing the country. So ponytails, mullets, and other long hairstyles all got clamped down on. However, the 1980s style, Elvis, you know, that Elvis pompadour style, that's 100% accepted in the country. There's literally like a whole list of hairstyles. Like, you can actually check this out to see what's legal and what's not. And finally, number 1, we have public affection. Any touching between men and women who are not family members is absolutely forbidden. Even a handshake can actually be punishable and is called an illegitimate sexual relationship short of adultery. And this is what a woman by the name of Atina Fargandani, who was 20 at the time, found out. Atina Fargandani was sentenced to 12.5 years in jail for drawing a political cartoon, and was then charged with indecency for shaking her lawyer's hand when he came to visit her in jail. However though, she was freed 1 year later. Farting. Yeah. So over in Malawi, it is technically illegal to fart in public, and this is all under an old law that prohibits fouling the air or polluting it in a way that could cause annoyance to others. While the law is not often enforced, it remains on the books though, and there have been occasions where people were arrested or fined for farting in public. The law reflects the cultural taboo around flatulence in many parts of the world, as well as the desire to maintain public order and decorum. However, some people, of course, have criticized this law as outdated and just completely unnecessary, and they argue that it infringes on personal freedoms and it's very difficult to enforce. Next up, number 9, video games. So over in the country of Iran, certain video games that are deemed to be harmful to Islamic values or promote violence are actually banned by the government. Now, this ban was first introduced back in the year 2011 with the goal of protecting Iranian youth from exposure to harmful content and promoting traditional Islamic values. So, games that feature violence or other forms of immoral behavior are typically targeted for banning, as well as games that promote foreign or Western cultures that are incompatible with Iranian values. But the ban is enforced by the Ministry of Culture and Islamic Guidance, which is responsible for reviewing and approving all forms of media, including, in this case, video games. But in response, some Iranians have turned to underground channels to access banned games, and in some cases, they've even created their own localized versions that comply with Islamic values. In at the number 8 spot, we have plastic bags. Reducing plastic is definitely beneficial, but banning it is an entirely new thing. Several countries, including Rwanda, Kenya, and Bangladesh, have banned the use of plastic bags due to their negative environmental impacts. Plastic bags are known for their durability and can take hundreds of years to degrade, and this causes long-term pollution of land, waterways, and oceans. In addition, the production of plastic bags requires significant amounts of fossil fuels, contributing to greenhouse gas emissions. Number 7 was so surprising. Okay, over in Greece, certain areas of the country, actually, not the whole country, but high heels are actually banned on archaeological sites, and this is all to prevent damage to ancient ruins and monuments. The ban was introduced back in the year 2009 after it was discovered that high-heeled shoes can cause significant damage to delicate marble and stone surfaces, particularly in areas with high foot traffic. The ban applies to both visitors and staff, and signs are posted to inform visitors of this rule. And visitors are encouraged to wear comfortable flat shoes or sandals instead, which are a lot less likely to cause any damage. Some tourists, they have been caught violating the ban and have faced fines or other penalties. This one takes us over into France. We look at the ban on ketchup. It's definitely not uncommon for schools to have strict rules and regulations about what food students are allowed to bring and consume during lunchtime. And one such rule that has gained attention is the ban on ketchup in school cafeterias in France. While ketchup is a very popular condiment in many parts of the world, French school officials, they argue that it can be way too sugary and may encourage unhealthy eating habits among children. So the ban on ketchup has been in place for several years in some schools, and it has been met with mixed reactions from students and also the parents. While some argue that the ban is overly strict and just straight up unnecessary, others see it as a way to encourage children to eat more balanced and nutritious meals. In China, the Chinese Communist Party placed a ban on online Bible downloads and even went on to empty bookshops of Bibles, even going to the extreme of altering the verses of the Bible and replacing them with President Xi's words. The Bible appears to have been removed from online marketplaces in China as Beijing clamps down on how its citizens practice religion in the country. China has always controlled sales of the Bible, only allowing it to be distributed and printed by state-sanctioned churches. But in recent years, it has been available to buy online, and that loophole now appears to be firmly clamped down on. Searches for Holy Bible did not return any results on JD.com, and results on Amazon.cn did not include the main text, but did include study guides and the Quran. Number 4 leads us to North Korea. North Korea is a totalitarian state, and in this country, the only thing that the citizens are permitted to worship is the nation's leader, Kim Jong-un. The Bible and the Quran are both banned in the country, and those who are found in possession of either one of them will face maybe torture or imprisonment and possibly capital punishment. Next up in this episode is Saudi Arabia. Because Saudi Arabia is an absolute monarchy and no other religion except Islam is allowed there, people might worship in private, but getting any religious text outside of the Quran into the country is very restricted. There is no freedom of religion in Saudi Arabia, which is why one can't freely practice their religion. And punishment is harsh for people caught smuggling Bibles into the country who intend to use it for public evangelism. The public practice of any form of religion other than Islam is illegal in Saudi Arabia, as well as the intention to convert others is illegal. However, the Saudi authorities, they do accept people worshiping in private, and you can definitely bring religious texts into the country just as long as it's for personal use, not for public use or trying to convert people to that religion that you're professing. The next country with bans on the Bible is Yemen. Yemen is struck in what aid group UNICEF calls one of the world's largest humanitarian crises, as it's struggling to provide food and health care for its citizens. And this challenging situation proves to also be very difficult for Christians because aid is often distributed by local leaders who in certain cases give less aid priority to non-Muslims. Additionally, no Christian is permitted to keep a Bible with them in the country. The final country in this episode at number 1 is Afghanistan. Afghanistan did not recognize any Afghan citizens as being a Christian. And once back in 2009, Bibles in Afghan languages sent to a US soldier at a base in Afghanistan were actually confiscated and destroyed to ensure that the troops did not breach regulations that forbid proselytizing. And this was according to a military spokeswoman. Now, the US military did deny that its soldiers tried to convert Afghans to Christianity after the Qatar-based media outlet Al Jazeera showed soldiers at a Bible class on a base with a stack of Bibles translated into local Pashto and Dari languages.